스타의 역사를 이어나가는 자부심 ASL 21번째 시즌.
그리워하셨던 분들도 상당히 많으실 거라고.
우승자 출신들이 떨어졌어요. 파티어가요 가장 많이 올라갔어요.
역대 없었던 이변 중에 하나가
15년 만에 다시 한번 대결을 펼치게 됩니다. 찍어 누르는 그 힘을 보여주는 합니까 진짜 세계 첫 8강에
이 양을 숨겨서
야 이거 세기를 10주년간 넘지 못해서 드디어 넘어서면서 4티어가 4강. 이조 선수의 날카로운 타이밍이 나오고요. 압도하는 경기를 선보이면서 승리 따르고 4강에 올라가네요. 대급 경기 말도 안 되는 승부 명장면이 계속 이어져. 대박의 결승전 이호선수 박사현 선의 무대 박상현.
ASL Season 22.
What is up, everybody? We're finally back with another season of the ASL. Tastosis, this is going to be an excellent one.
Oh, I cannot wait for this one. We definitely have some newer names in there. You can see kind of a part of the changing of the old guard, but some of the old guard coming back as well. One of our big upsets from last season, Oregon made it in again. Of course, we had some really fantastic players that just didn't qualify this season, like Royal. That was a big surprise. But it's an exciting season, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the games in this round of 24.
Yeah, I mean, not just an interesting lineup as far as players, like you were saying, some of the big names not getting in, and then we have some newer faces, which is always exciting when you get a game as old as StarCraft to see people you might not be as familiar with, especially if you've been watching for a long time. But also the maps this season are very, very interesting. Some bold moves here from the map makers that should make for I think an ASL season where we're going to learn a lot about the game beyond just seeing exciting close matches. I think these maps are going to really change the way that we view StarCraft, and we'll see if some of these maps stay, or these style of maps, I should say, stay in future seasons. It's an interesting time.
Yeah, it really is. We'll go over those maps in just a little bit here. But here's the general schedule. So basically, well, this is Korea dates, but the next day we'll be casting everything. This first day is the only exception because my flights got super delayed coming back home from a LAN tournament. So that was a pain, but yeah, everything else should be perfectly on time. As it was last season. Really digging the way that we do this nowadays.
Yeah. And, if you want to watch as soon as possible, these do debut on our SOOP channels. Remember that the ASL is owned by basically like the big streaming company in Korea, that's SOOP. So it debuts there for about 48 hours and then immediately goes up to the YouTube. So, if you want to wait and let the algorithm, on YouTube show you when the matches are out, that's one way to do it. If you want to, if you're dying to see some of these matches, there is a way to see it earlier. And as Tastosis said, we're basically, if you've been following before, we have this system, we record the ourselves doing this 24 hours after the matches happen. And then, it goes right when we're done, Tastosis plays it live in a time zone on SOOP that's good, for Americans in this case.
Yeah, and I think it's okay for Europeans as well. So pretty good for the English-speaking audience. But yeah, we'll have that all on point going forward. And yeah, really looking forward to it. We're kind of just showing on screen now where some of the events are going to be. The ice rink going to be where the finals is for this season. So that'll be kind of a fun thing to see in the background. Haven't had the finals on an ice map yet, so that's cool.
They don't usually use ice maps in StarCraft, but in this case, the ASL Season 22 finals will be there. That is by Lotte Tower. That's the tallest building in the country. I think that's like the 5th or 6th tallest building in the world. 7th, sorry.
The only reason I know that is because I was in a taxi with Rotterdam who told me, and I'm like, why do you know that? But it stuck so with me. Man. I'm like, wow, the things Roddy knows. Okay.
Yeah. But that whole area is very cool. I think if you want to check out those finals, definitely go there. But, you know, it's going to be a tough season to top coming out of Season 21. I mean, the Soma versus Flash finals, I will tell you, man, I had... friends, people that I hadn't talked to in forever ago, just texting me about that. I feel like everybody that has ever enjoyed StarCraft ended up tuning in for that match, and that turned out to be one of the best finals ever. I mean, you know, fingers crossed we can ever top that.
Yeah. I hope that we will end up doing so, and I am interested to see if a non-Zerg can win. We're on 3 years in a row of Zerg champions, so you know, that's something that's kind of like a funny thing that everyone's talking about, right? Like, is there going to be a way to get someone else to win? And they tried to make the maps much better for Protoss this year, but the qualifiers were wild. Protoss players were eliminating each other a lot. It was actually kind of similar to, was it last season or the season before, where we had very few Zergs and just all the qualifier brackets were full of Zergs. It's like 6 Zergs that could have been an ASL getting eliminated. The same type of thing happened here. Like, Shuttle eliminated like 2 of the other top Protosses to qualify, for instance. So it's a little bit Protoss light season, but the maps are pretty good for Protoss.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think it is definitely worth pointing out. Protoss have had a little bit of a harder time here. We had, like, basically Flash dominating for a really long time. We kind of thought he might come back and win the last season, but he did die to Soma. But then, yeah, it's been 3 years of Zerg dominance. Now, if this was a new game, I think people would be much more panicked about that, right? But we're on year, I think, 28 or so of StarCraft 1. Right, so we've had periods where Protosses have been good and Terrans have been good, but yeah, we'll see if the maps actually allow for Protoss players to come out and look a little bit stronger here.
Yeah. Well, a lot of this, it's just been like the Zerg players have been playing really well, and they've been doing very well in all the matchups. But well, we'll talk about that in a minute here. The league format, of course, you guys know the round of 24 is single elimination dual tournament. So you lose 2 games and you're out. You win 2 games, you go forward. Round of 16, the first set for each player is best of 1, and then it goes into best of 3s. And then so on and so forth, right? Round of 8 becomes like best of 5s, and round of 4, best of 7s, final best of 7. So standard ASL stuff.
Yeah, super excited to get into these groups here. Again, the maps have been super creative, I think, in a very different and interesting way. So one thing to note is that, as an example, like a map like Odyssey, they let me put it like this. There's always been actually 2 worlds of StarCraft. There have been, if you watch ASL, this is kind of the standard map games, but a huge part, if not, I think more than 50% of all of StarCraft 1 has been these, what we call like fastest maps or money maps, right? And some of these, the minerals spawn right next to the Nexus. And so we've introduced some of those concepts in these maps. So we'll see what happens. We were talking about, these maps might be a little bit Protoss favored, but only 5 Protosses here, which is kind of crazy, Tastosis. I mean, Protoss was pretty underrepresented in the last season as well. Yeah, but it really is the best of the best. Rain didn't play this season, but we have our top 4 in Bisu Mini, Best in Snow, who has a seed. And then really the very next tier, Paralyze and Shuttle are at the top of that, in my opinion. So I feel like we actually have 6 of the best 7 with Rain choosing not to play. Here's a quick look at our groups. Group C and Group F are insane. Those are 2 insane groups. I think Group F probably wins Group of Death by a little bit, but Group C is wildly strong also. In fact, all these groups have like real upset potential. Yeah, I mean, I think most of these groups, it's really hard to call, you know, who will get out, who should get out. We do have some very stacked groups as far as matchups go, like that Group F. It's going to be 3 Zergs. I think it was, the graphic just went away, so I didn't see, but there was another one, 3 Terrans in that. Oh, we're going to go to the interview now, guys, and then we'll go into our matches.
Hello, and welcome to day 1 of the round of 24, Group A, in partnership with Google Play. Hello, I'm Hyun-kyung. Last season, Soma took down Flash, the undisputed king of ASL, to win the championship. And Zerg continued to look strong throughout the qualifiers for this season as well. Now a new season begins today. If you log into SOOP and watch the official broadcast, you can receive an ASL item through random drops. We hope you'll stay with us from this moment all the way through the end of the season. Before the opening matches, let's talk with the 4 players in Group A. Hello everyone. Hello. Good to see everyone. Let's start with Rush. It really feels like it's been a long time since we've seen you. Last season, somewhat unusually for you, you were eliminated early in the round of 24. So you've had quite a long time to prepare for this season. How are you approaching today's matches? It really does feel like it's been a long time since I've played. Last season was the first time in a long time that I went out in the round of 24. So I came into this season even more determined. I'll try to show a good performance today. Looking at you now, it seems like you've lost some weight and gotten a lot sharper. And people are saying your play has gotten sharper as well. Your practice volume is almost like that of an active pro. You're playing around 30 games a day and sometimes playing team matches until 8 in the morning. Fans have been surprised by just how much you're practicing. Do you feel your play getting sharper as you play more games? I definitely play better when I'm playing a lot. My wrists are still holding up, so I'm able to keep grinding. I really want to do well this season. While Rush is looking sharper than ever, the player sitting next to him has every reason to be nervous. He's someone who truly showed that hard work pays off. After nearly 10 years of trying to reach ASL, he's finally made the main stage. Hello. You're finally here, facing the fans on the ASL stage. How are you feeling right now? I'm actually less nervous than I expected. I thought I'd be shaking a lot more. I guess I'm a little nervous, but I'm also pretty excited. We also heard that during the final qualifier, you were emotional when you made it to the main stage of ASL. After such a long journey, what was going through your mind when you finally realized you'd qualified? About 10 seconds before I got the GG, I became emotional and started crying. When I think about it, I thought it was kind of funny. I never thought I'd be someone who would cry after winning a game. But it just bursted out. It was such a hard road to get here, so I hope I can play well today. And looking at the players you defeated in the qualifiers, you beat Royal and Ample. Those are 2 very strong Terran players. So how confident are you going into your first match here in Group A? And since today is your birthday, do you think you can give yourself another birthday present? Rush is such a good player that I might end up getting a birthday beating instead. Or I can beat him and give myself a birthday present. I'll try to make that happen. I guess we will have to see. That was a very calm but confident interview. Next we have Bisu. Hello. Hello. You secured your place in the main event early by winning the season open. How are you feeling today? First of all, I got plenty of sleep, so I feel pretty good. It's been a long time since I've played Shuttle in the tournament. Honestly, I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I just hope he gives me the win. The 2 of you have been smiling at each other since before the interview even started. You can't seem to stop laughing whenever you look at each other. When you found out your first match would be against Shuttle, what did you think? Against Zerg or Terran, I'm confident. But Shuttle is really good at PvP, so honestly, I'm not sure. Protoss is once again one of the smaller groups of race this season. That means you'll get a lot of support from Protoss fans, but you'll probably feel some pressure as well. What do you think about this? I usually make it to the round of 16, but lately I haven't been playing very well. So I've practiced a lot recently. I hope all that practice shows in today's games. Now, we have Shuttle, who is finally back on the ASL main stage after quite a while. Hello! Hello. You've had a smile on your face this whole time. You must be pretty excited to be back. It's been such a long time. Your last appearance was season 19, so it's been 3 seasons? Even though it's only been 3 seasons, it honestly feels like it's been something like 5 years. You're facing Bisu in your first match. And just a moment ago, he actually asked you to lose. It sounds like there's some real fear of your Protoss versus Protoss. I think there's some truth to why Bisu is worried. It's the difference between someone who has nothing to lose and someone who has a lot to lose. In a best of one, the player who can confidently choose a risky build has an advantage. Bisu really can't afford to lose to me. I, on the other hand, can take more risks. Bisu has his head down right now. He's very nervous right now. All kinds of thoughts must be running through his head. He's probably thinking, what is Shuttle going to do? Is he going to try a proxy 9-9 gate? You seem pretty confident about Group A overall. I'm a little weak against Rush. But other than Rush, I'm basically counting as an automatic win. It's his birthday. He fought his way through those qualifiers in tears to get here. That has nothing to do with anything. I cry all the time too. Just to remind everyone, Shuttle is back in the main event for the first time in 3 seasons. And you didn't practice a single game against Zerg? No, not even one. I'm just counting that one as a win. I did practice against Terran a little. If I can catch Rush with a prepared all-in, I think I might have a chance. It definitely sounds like Shuttle has brought some special builds with him. And there's also some history between Shuttle and Rush. Looking at their ASL head-to-head record, Rush leads 5-1. And looking at their games from July and August, Rush also leads 6-3. Rush, how do you feel about that recent 6-3 record against Shuttle? Honestly, I'm a little dissatisfied. I should have won more. Shuttle says he only practiced against Terran a little. Shuttle always has a few special all-in builds that he likes to use in these best-of-1 matches. Those are honestly a little scary. It seems like everyone is afraid of Shuttle right now. What do you think? Shuttle came here without practicing a single game of PvZ. Then I think he can just lose to me. Okay, we'll see whether really is someone Shuttle can simply count as a win. Sorry, I forgot to refrain from laughing out loud. Bisu and Shuttle were also tied together by fate during the qualifiers. There was a mission connected to Shuttle reaching the main event, so Bisu got to watch the entire emotional roller coaster. What were you thinking while you watched? There were 100,000 ad balloons on the line. I was watching it, and I really wanted him to get them. When he played Ruin in his last game, I was rooting really hard for him. He ended up making the comeback. Then later that day, he played me in Pro League, and I got a win from the Super Ace match too, so we ended up helping each other out. Shuttle already has the energy of someone who's made the round of 16. He's clearly having a great time. That makes me even more curious to see how he plays today. These 4 players have already given us plenty of stories just from this interview. Now I'm even more curious which 2 players will reach the round of 16. Let's hear one quick final comment from each of you. Rush, I'll work hard this season and try to make a deep run. Thank you. This is my first ASL, and so many people helped me get here. Now, I really want to make sure I advance. We'll be looking forward to it. Bisu, I'll take it one step at a time. For now, my goal is the round of 16. I'll do my best. Good. Finally, Shuttle. We need more Protoss players. Bisu and I will beat Rush and Whom and advance to the round of 16 together. We're looking forward to great games from all 4 players. Thank you for the interview. The opening matches of a new season are ready to begin. Which players from Group A will survive and become the first to advance to the round of 16? Let's get into the games.
Okay, we're finally ready to get into these games. Tastosis, we're gonna have Rush versus HM to start things off, and then a PvP here with Bisu versus Shuttle.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting start to it. I think the Bisu Shuttle match might be closer than people would expect because, you know, obviously Bisu is like one of the very best ever to do it, but Shuttle is no slouch. He kind of gets teased as one, but the guy is legit good, and he's good at Protoss versus Protoss as well.
But I think PvP might be his best matchup, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and you know, Bisu very good. Yeah, I think that one's a toss-up. I think, you know, to start this off, I think you know, Rush versus HM. Rush should win this. Rush is one of the most decorated modern Terrans out there, and you know, I mean, look, this is going to be kind of like a, you know, veteran versus a rookie matchup here. We'll see what HM can do.
Yeah, Rush is in ridiculous shape right now, by the way. Like, Rush is just crushing everything I watch him play in. He looks like the strongest Terran alongside Light at the moment. And, you know, HM has been around forever. Like, that guy, he has been, like, one of the top up-and-coming Zergs for years and years and years and years. I'm trying to remember. I think he might have been in one ASL a long time ago. But like, he's been one of these guys that's been on the brink and just hasn't been able to make it in for a while.
Yeah, there were a couple of seasons we kind of thought he was gonna, you know, basically take over. You know, it's funny, when Flash stepped away from ASL for a couple of years, you know, Tastosis and I were kind of talking about Light probably filling that gap, but then it turned out there were a lot of Terran players that were competitive, right? I mean, Rush was definitely one of them, you know, along with Royal, who had a really good breakout performance several seasons ago. But Rush does feel it's similar maybe to Snow as an example, a guy, it does feel like he's a guy who probably should have won you know, one of these ASLs here, but didn't. You know, was stopped in that process.
Yeah, he's the best Terran player without a championship by miles. Like JYJ and Royal both got championships. Great for them. They are great Terran players, but Rush is better than them. It's the way that those seasons just happen to work out. Sometimes that happens, right? Where you get a champion you might not have expected. Whereas in the meantime, Hero, Best, Snow, Rush, none of these guys have a championship yet. Like, right? Those 4 really are like, damn, you guys should have had one by now.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. I mean, you know, someone like Rush, don't forget the finals that he was in that he lost was versus Mini in those weird games where Mini went for carriers, like, you know, in these crazy techs. Yeah, I mean, it was I don't know, a wild time, man. But, you know, to start this off, I think this should be an expected Rush win, but we'll see. You know, it is a best of one. An upset can happen. So we'll see what, you know, HM is prepared, because he's certainly put a lot of thought into whatever he's going to be doing here in this game.
No doubt about that. We're going to go into knockout for our first maps here in the round of 24. Pretty good, solid map. Let's see how they're going to open.
Okay, Rush in the top right, and HM here in the bottom right. One thing about this map we should point out right away is that when you're both sharing the right or the left side, you're really close to each other. The rush distances are crazy short.
Yeah, that is very, very true. You can put on a lot of pressure like that sometimes. One good thing for Zerg, though, is that they generally do scout north and south on this map with the Overlord, so they'll see what's coming generally relatively quickly with that Overlord. But yeah, a lot of it could come down to, like, just what is the build order. Like, does Rush go 8 racks here, or is he going to throw down a depot? Let's see. And it's a depot.
And so we're going to see the depot over here at the entrance. You know, but this could be like a discovered depending on how the Zerg opens as well. Obviously, if going hatchery before pool is much more rushable, going pool before hatchery is much safer. But, you can be going for something that would be kind of neutral, but then see the positions and end up activating a rush anyways here. But that Overlord, it's headed up. It's northbound right now. It's going to be perched right over this high ground area. And, I guess we were talking about possible like marine rushes or bunker rushes, but it could also be a game where later on, Terran wants to do some kind of an attack with marines here, and the Zerg has to be that much faster at throwing down creep colonies and turning them into sunken colonies or they get busted.
Yeah, those sudden move outs in the closest spawns can be a little bit scary. You have to be lightning quick to get those sunken colonies down. So definitely something to keep in mind here as we move forward. But it looks like pretty standard openers. Looks like just a barracks expansion from Rush and just a standard 2-hatch opener here from HM, which I'm not too surprised to see. We had that period of time where every Terran vs. Zerg was some sort of tech opener, lots of, command center first mech builds and stuff like that. But the metagame has actually shifted to where more recently it's been slightly more bio openers than tech openers. Just slightly, I would say, 55-45, which has been very interesting to see because during that Sulky era of 2 years, no one could win at all with bio. But suddenly, Terran players are winning with bio again, it's been a very interesting development.
Okay, so he's going to throw the bunker down right away. This is a Z scout, so he scouted the top left and then went to the bottom right, and he sees, okay, in the close distances, you can try to send a marine down, you can try to get a bunker started here. Remember that HM does not have the kind of experience as someone like Rush does, so this is going to be a lot more nerve-wracking. 2 drones is not really going to be enough to actually block off a marine coming here, so now that drone is stuck out on the map and can't go back in mine. This creep colony is in front of the bunker. This might be killed before the Lings can even get there. They're going to run up right now, and they're going to try to go for a surround. There are 3 drones. One is pulled a little bit too far back. The SCVs are repairing, and they have not been killed. I think this game's just over, Artosis.
This is highly embarrassing for HM. This is the type of thing that he beats on the ladder all the time. This was a nothing rush. This might have been a 10 racks. And, you pulling 2 drones is just not even a thing. I'm
no.
This is someone panicking in their first ASL is what we see. We see this so oftentimes where it's he's going to be kicking himself endlessly for this. Because he would never lose this on the ladder. Not to Rush, not to Flash, not to Light. HM is a legit good player, and that is just him panicking. A bunker gets started, he sent 2 drones. I swear to God, we could download every Zerg vs. Terran he's played this season, and you won't find one game where he's I send 2 drones to stop a bunker. Dude, the number is 7.
I don't know what was with 2 drones. I get it though. I mean, you come down there. There's all this hype. There's all people are talking about you. Your friends are all saying, "Oh my God, you're in the ASL." You come down, you do the interview. That can be nerve-wracking. You sit down, and suddenly, in the first minute and a half of the game, a bunker started, and I don't know. I don't believe 2 is ever the number. I don't know what the number is, if it's 3 or 4. Or even more than that, Artosis. This is kind of a nuanced thing in TVZ, but he just did not have enough to drive this away. Usually when you see Marines come like that, they're going to try to kill drones because you can stop the bunker from finishing. Anyways, guys, we're going to go to a short break. Bisu versus Shuttle is coming up next.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
ASL 시즌 22.
ASL 시즌 22 24강 A조 개막전 경기 함께하고 계십니다.
Welcome
앞서
back, everybody.
펼쳐졌던
Thank you
오늘의
for
첫 번째
waiting.
경기에서는
I'm excited to go into this
유영진
game,
선수가 노련하게
too.
빠른 승리를
That
챙기며
was,
승자전으로 향했습니다. 이어지는 경기
every
만나보시기
once in a
앞서서
while we just get a game like that. StarCraft games do end like that all the time, usually not at the pro level. You know, a lot of StarCraft, you know, people, I think they think about APM and they think about perfect control, but a big chunk of it is just kind of understanding what you need to do in very, very specific situations. And
so
what was interesting about that is that is such a basic situation. We can only chalk that up to nerves. Right? I mean, he just, you know, when you see certain rushes, you go, I need exactly this many workers. I need the workers to focus on, like, let's say it's block the Marine, or maybe it's go for the SCV, or, you know, and how long do I keep them there? Well, I need them there just until the lanes come out, and then I run away, or maybe you keep them there. But a pro player knows these in his core, right? And that's why that is such an unusual sight to see here, is that basically looked like a ladder game with two players of extremely different MMRs.
Yeah.
One guy's just going to shoot past the other guy.
Well, the big thing about it as well, which blows my mind, is HM has been up at the top of the ladder for like near 10 years. Yeah, we're in 2026. Almost. Like at least 8 or 9 years. He's been one of the top-ranked players. I guarantee he's played Rush at least 100 times. He holds stuff like that all the time, and that's just like, I feel bad. It's nerves, right? There's not that many live tournaments that are, you know, he plays in some online tournaments and stuff, but to be there on stage in front of people, it does something to you. And Rush just ripped him apart, and he's going to feel bad about that one, unfortunately. I hope his loser match can look better. You know, I hope he can just put out a good game. I think he'll lose because I think all these three players are way better, but I want to at least see him, you know, get into some macro cycles, have some fights, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you know, the problem is that a loss like that is so psychologically destructive, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is not just painful to lose, that is a humiliating loss. So, I mean, fingers crossed he can bring something a little bit better here. But, you know, it makes me think, actually, you know, EWC, they have heart rate monitors on the players.
Yeah.
And, you know, most players, some players are obviously more expressive and emotive than others, but games like that, I would love to see a heart rate monitor, because I would imagine he's at like 150 BPM.
Yeah.
Rush is coming, you know.
So true.
Just to kind of show you what the adrenaline, you know, what's kind of going on internally inside the player's body. You know, it's like an earthquake's happening there. Anyways, this match should be an interesting one. Two players who I think are very evenly matched. Remember that there are not a ton of Protosses in this season. Every once in a while we have, you know, ASLs where there's, you know, a race that's pretty underrepresented. And in that case, it's going to be Protoss here. But we also are missing a couple Protoss players I think we would kind of expect to have this season. So I'm curious what it's going to look like with these two players. You know, there's a lot of different ways to play PvPs, but this should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. You know, I think obviously Bisu is a better player, but Shuttle won some big PvPs on his way to this ASL through those qualifiers. So he is going to be deadly here. But Bisu is actually one of my picks for the season. I'll talk more about that in a second. But yeah, we're going to get into this on Knockout. But yeah, anyways, well, I guess I can just say now. I feel like this season, Tastosis, like, I think Bisu, Mini, Rush, Soma, those are kind of my big picks for this season. Like, I think that these maps are going to get Bisu and Mini powered up.
Yeah, well, Bisu's looking really good. He's been extremely strong for a long time. You know, it's been so cool to have him, Jaedong, and last season at least Flash, you know, playing here. But I think Bisu hasn't quite achieved that glory that he's wanted, and you know, that glory that he had in what a lot of people call that golden era of StarCraft 1, all pre-StarCraft 2's release. But yeah, I mean, this could be a very good season for him. So we're back on the map Knockout here. We have both players sharing the top. Bisu's in the upper right, and that's going to put Shuttle here in the top left.
Yeah, and for anyone wondering, that in the bottom right, that showed Snow and Mini is the only two ASL Protosses with more wins than Bisu, which is kind of shocking because Best has been in every single ASL. So I'm like, how does he not? How is he not top 3? It's kind of crazy, but I guess he's had some bad seasons mixed in there as well. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tastosis. So I just wanted to talk about PvP in general a little bit here. Two gating has become more popular in competitive play, which is funny because, like, basically everything that you and I ever cast, Tastosis, is one gating. But I've seen a lot of pros two gating now, and I'm curious if we're going to see it in the few PvPs we have this season. It looks like we're not going to have it here from Bisu. But we could. No, it's going to be a later gas here. He actually got a gas on 150 minerals here. Okay, so no two gates. But I did want to point that out. We've seen a shift where some of the early game build orders have changed a little bit. And a few more people fast expanding, by the way, in PvP. But it does seem like anything that you and I cast, so basically ASL, the highest level stuff, and when the prize pools are the biggest, for now, Protosses seem to be still leaning towards that that teching style. But there is a little difference here between what Shuttle and Bisu are doing. Bisu's going for the more mainline tech opener, which is Pylon, Gateway, Gas, Cybernetics Core. Shuttle is going for a build order where you get your Cybernetics Core later, and you can make another probe or two here. But your Cybernetics Core is going to finish later, and he also gets a Zealot, which he sends out across the map.
Ooh, Bisu almost got a probe there. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I actually wanted to ask you real quick one question about the changing in the meta that you've noticed with the two gating, which actually, funnily enough, like, I've noticed that a little bit. Like, I don't play Protoss often on the ladder, but every time I do, I get two gated in PvP, which is really, I found that weird. I'm like, why is this happening? Like, again, I don't play a lot of Protoss, but when I do, it's a two gate. But sometimes we'll see the metagame from the ladder eventually work its way up to the pro scene, but also sometimes something just will be really good on the ladder, but because pros are so much better, like maybe execution-wise or micro-wise, you'll never see it pop up. So I wonder which one you might think that is. Is it just that the pro micro is too good, the execution's too good, or is it, do you think the prevalence of two-gate actually will get into the pro scene eventually?
I don't know. I mean, I think it could work its way up there. I do think two gating's very strong. I mean, the basic theory is that, one gateway, once you get your tech up, if you've held off the two gate, you kind of have an easier rest of the game, right? You're going to have your Dragoon range done. You're going to have your Robo done. Or if you wanted to go for DTs, you could do that. You can get your expansion up. But, Zealots are basically the strongest unit in the early game, right? And that's certainly true in PvP, especially when one guy only has one gate and the other guy has two. So we'll see if it works its way in there. I would love to see that and cast that for everybody, because for me as a Protoss player, I experience it so much in games that I would like to see the best players in the world dealing with it, so I could kind of understand a little bit better. In this game, Shuttle has gone for a robotics facility, and Bisu's basically doing a little bit of corner cutting. He's realized he can pretty much prevent any scouting. And so he's also going to tech to a Robo, but he squeezes in a Nexus first.
Yeah, I love this from Bisu because if you look at the way he's moving his Dragoons out here and how he had a probe up on the side, he's pretending he's aggro so hard. He keeps walking his Dragoons up, which you'd look at this as an amateur and be like, why are you doing that? You got to preserve these Dragoons so you can live through an attack. No, 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 no. He's trying to make Shuttle feel like he's going to attack. Like he is acting so aggressive, but this is all fake. It's like he's trying to scare a bear by putting his arms up because he made that Nexus so fast.
He's basically perfectly telegraphed a 3-gate all-in with the first 3 Dragoons. Because what you do is you get the first 3 come out, and then the next 3 come out like in a wave if you're doing certain types of build orders. And that will always force the player to run back up the ramp. But what he does is then he abandons it. And you can see Shuttle sees that it hasn't come, so he's going to move down his ramp. But his Nexus is going to start as Bisu's finishes, which is crazy. So what Bisu's done is he's basically perfectly forced Shuttle into a conservative, reaction to stay safe. And now Bisu's going to be reaping the benefits of this expansion pretty quickly. Now, Shuttle could try to push from here. That is an option.
I feel like a push after you've thrown that Nexus down, even though your Reaver is going to be so much faster, it doesn't feel to me like a very good move. It just it seems like, oh, this is the Bisu's build will counter this perfectly, because it's not like if it was like a 1 base all in type of push where he adds like a 3rd gate and he just like goes super hard, okay, maybe. But this Nexus is up so much faster. Feels like Bisu's just going to be able to get his production up, hold everything, and be ahead.
Yeah, Bisu's in very good shape. He's got to be sitting pretty comfortably. He's continuing to produce probes here. We've got that first Reaver out. There are some ways that I think Shuttle can try to play this. One is to try to go for Shuttle speed and try to do some harass. I mean, you obviously anything involving Shuttle Reaver, there is always the possibility of a push, right? So when the observer comes in here, what he's going to do is he's going to click on the minerals because he needs to see how many minerals have been mined. When you click on a mineral in StarCraft, it'll tell you how many crystals or whatever are inside the mineral patch. And so he'll realize now what kind of game he's been in. One of the challenges of PvP is that scouting's pretty difficult, and the way that Protoss tech, they tech in these like really sharp directions, right? Yeah. Like a DT tech is totally different than a Robo tech, as an example. Or not getting either of those two is a very different game, right? If you're just going to get a bunch of gates and try to be aggressive that way. So he, a lot of times if you play a game like Bisu did, the early game is pretty confusing for someone like Shuttle. So it looks like he's going to set up here. He might try to go for a push. He will have more Reavers. I think it's 1 Shuttle and a Reaver inside of it for Bisu, where Shuttle is about to have his Shuttle pop out with 2 Reavers.
What do you think is good for comeback potential here from Shuttle? Do you think he should try to push while he has that Reaver advantage, or do you kind of like try to play a longer game where you just kind of naturally make the game closer?
It's a style thing, I think. Mm-hmm. It looks like he's going to go for the push. I think he's going to try to press his advantage. This will come down to control. But you can see Bisu's basically set up for pretty perfect positioning. He's got his Reaver up here on the high ground. He's got his Dragoons coming out. And what he wants to do is basically drop, fire shots. Do not lose the Shuttle and Reaver here, and just try to slow this down. Now, you can really see how strong 2 Reavers are, right, against this. And the problem is going to be that if he goes into his main with, or his natural with everything, there's really no way to fight the Reavers. The Scarabs will just do too much damage. So what he's done is he's gone underneath this, and he's going to try to intercept reinforcements. He's going to try to flank if the push commits and goes inside of his base. And what Bisu needs to do is basically keep juggling the Shuttle Reaver. And it looks like his Shuttle speed just finished here, so he's going to have a much easier time controlling this.
Dude, my favorite part of any PvP is watching Reavers shoot Scarabs at each other and get picked back up into the Shuttle. It's, the Reavers are just such a good defensive unit here, but they can't hit each other. If you are really on top of it, you just pick them up before the Scarab gets there.
Yeah, it's a funny looking interaction, right? Because if you don't play PvP, you're probably thinking like, what are they doing? This looks ridiculous. But the idea is that if you're both doing it, then the defending player can't be advanced on. So he's going to try to come in here. This might be an overextension here for Bisu. He is going to pick up and save one Reaver, but I think he got a little bit too ambitious. He's got another Reaver back over here waiting. He does have something ready to hit reinforcements.
Well, he has the double Reaver here. Oh, and the pickup as well. Very well done. Really well executed, but then loses the shuttle with the Reavers in it. Saw that one coming, unfortunately. And Shuttle is actually getting some really good damage here.
Oh my God. I mean, it's painful. He had to pull the probes here. He's going to lose all those. I don't know that Bisu can recover here. He might barely get enough Dragoons. Oh, maybe not actually with these reinforcements coming in here. You know, I think Shuttle made the right call. The push is very hard to stop. You know, and I think the mistake he made is Bisu basically played a perfect game until he tried to chase down the Shuttle Reaver. Yeah. And he got pulled too far out and basically sacrificed his Dragoons. I think he should have played a tighter game.
I think you're right about that. Like, he seemed like he was good. I was actually surprised how much Shuttle did with those two Reavers. I thought Bisu was actually going to be able to kill them both in the Shuttle. And then he killed like one, and that was it. And he lost every Dragoon. What was it, 6 or 7? You just can't be losing that much. And now this game's over. Bisu's dead, man. Shuttle has gotten him. And that's, I mean, you were saying it's actually a pretty close match, and I would agree with you, but it does feel like an upset in a way because Shuttle is not someone who can win this tournament. Bisu is. And that's like, ooh, Bisu's on the back foot here already in the round of 24.
You know, Bisu seems to have a tough time in groups. It does feel like he has a lot of time where like he'll get out, but it's just barely. And you know, I think he is a better player when you give him a series. But you know, it seems like again his decision making tactically was bad here. Like he played the early game perfectly. Like it was inspirational to see. Like he just really understood how to fake a 3-gate goon attack and how to buy time. Now, the Shuttle and Reaver are out, so he can still maybe buy time. He's got to really play very carefully here. The Shuttle is super low. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't get a battery here. That would have been, you know, pretty helpful. You can use that to recharge the shields on the Shuttle or the Reaver. Both are totally acceptable. Now, I thought the game was over. It's going to go on for a while, but Shuttle has made all the right moves back at home. He's got a third base up here. It's also very difficult to get out of your base right now. You're basically contained. Note that this area, this kind of area that connects the natural to this triangular platform here, that's low ground. So it's really hard with Dragoons to kind of run through that because you're going to be fighting on low ground. And, you know, Dragoons, they don't fire fast, so when they miss a shot, it's pretty painful.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. I did notice that they showed Bisu actually has plus 25 scarab damage right now. Feels like that's gotten a lot
really
popular.
common now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
What is it about
Go ahead,
that
Tastosis.
makes it so common right now?
I think it's just, well, I mean, first of all, it's more damage, right? And if you're locked in Shuttle Reaver, like I don't think Bisu's in a position where he can try to tack out of this, right? Like I don't think this is a game where he's going to make Templars and win, right? So you're kind of just locked in on this. And you know, every Reaver shot that connects, I don't believe the math is for any one specific interaction, right? It's like, okay, you're going to kill more Dragoons when this connects. You're going to kill more Reavers, and that damage is going to accumulate over time. And so, you know, there are these games where you kind of see people lock in on this tech, and it looks like, at least on Bisu's side of the map, he's done that. Now, there is a world where if you can eventually get Templars, the Reavers become a lot less useful because Psystorm is basically the counter to Reavers. And we'll see. We haven't really gotten a shot of Shuttle's base yet, but I would not be surprised if there's a Citadel started in a Forge, and he's going to kind of get that final tech here.
I also wouldn't be too surprised if he just stays on this because, like, he just has so much more, right? Like, if you don't transition, how does your opponent catch up unit-wise? It seems pretty impossible as long as you control your Reaver reasonably well. As soon as I say that, of course, he loses the Shuttle Reaver.
There's basically this trick you're trying to do with the Shuttle and Reaver is you want the Shuttle to keep moving. If you watch Snow, you'll see that the Shuttle's never really like hit the brakes. It's never stopped. And if you can kind of keep it like yo-yoing around the Reaver, you can do these pickups and get out. because the shuttle, it operates off momentum, right? So like right when you tell it to start moving, it's a little bit slower, and then it picks up speed and it's quite fast. So if you can kind of have it still darting around, you can do a lot more with it. So he's going to try to bust out. And notice there are other Reavers for Shuttle up here. Some on the high ground. He's got Dragoons over here to block the bridge. And oh my God, I don't know that Bisu can make this work. This is going to be so hard.
He's blown up a lot with his Reavers, but same can be said for Shuttle here. Not quite able to hit each other's Reavers with these Scarabs. That could be one thing that could shift stuff a little bit, but the supply differential, like, Shuttle has been on twice the supply of Bisu for a long time, and GG is called. Shuttle gonna go to that winner's match.
Great game. Excellent push there by Shuttle. I do think that was Bisu being a little bit too greedy, chasing that shuttle and you know, all the way out there with his Dragoons. You know, there's a point where you have to pull away, because if a shuttle and Reavers get too far away from the Dragoons, they can drop and hit and pick up and run out again, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's too bad to see. We saw him actually kind of flub in a similar way against Flash last season, if you recall, where he just like flew his shuttle into all of the anti-air. Occasionally he's making these calls that are just not the right calls. The thing is, his base skill is so high, but as soon as you make a move like this in StarCraft, how do you keep up against another one of the world's best players? I don't know. I hope he can clean that up.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a quick little break. Coming up next is Rush versus Shuttle.
Nobody go harder than my team. Let's make a toast just for the dream. Got it out the mud, now we living like a king. Say la 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 la. Nobody go harder than my team. Make a toast just for the dream. Started from the bottom, now she living like a queen. Yeah. We gon' drink, we gon' pour, we gon' dance up the floor, we gon' smoke, we gon' roll up. Baby, hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm the man when I roll up. If I'm there, they gon' show. Game on lock, yeah, soda. Watch me glow. Got a cup up in my hand and they screaming my name. Cause a party ain't a party till the Cowboys came. We the legends of the night. Turning up the city to the sunshine bright. If you see me in the building and them girls is too, she gon' back me up to the sky time blue. We the legends of the night. Pouring up this whiskey till the sunshine bright. Yeah. make them say wow.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
스타의 역사를 이어나가는 자부심. 저그 프로토스 테란 가장 많은 14명. 타티어가요 가장 많이 올라갔어요.
그 정서를 깨버렸습니다. 노력을 통해서.
15년 만에 다시 한번 대결을 펼치게 됩니다. 찍어 누르는 그 힘을 보여주는 합니까 진짜 세계 첫 대급 경기. 말도 안 되는 승부 명장면이 계속 대박의 결승전.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're going to go to Rush versus Shuttle, and this should be an excellent PvT.
Yeah, Rush has banned Colorless Fate, and Shuttle has banned Attitude, which means we're going to have these guys play on Odyssey, this is really, really funny, because there was some controversy where Rush was saying this would be Protoss' favorite map, Odyssey, and then, you know, there's like a free ComSat on it because you can't build one at your main command center. And right at the beginning, it had a Terran winning record, but eventually that did flop over back into a Protoss winning record. So right now, the map is understood to be Protoss favored, but it's still one of these new wild maps. So, like, I'm not sure what we're going to see build order-wise here. This is a very strange map. It has the stacked mineral patches in your main, so your economy jumps up incredibly fast here.
Yeah, this is it's been a polarizing topic within the StarCraft scene, this map.
Yes.
I got a lot to talk about when we get into this game. I'm very interested to see what this is going to look like. I'm curious if this map is going to stay. I will tell you, I was excited when I saw it. I thought it was a bold move here by the map makers, but let's get into it. Our first pro match here in the ASL on this map. There you go. I know some of you are going, my eyes, no. Oh, God. Real quick, guys, consider signing up for the Patreon. It's patreon.com/ASL English. We would love to earn your support. But into this game, look, I got to point this out. A huge amount of StarCraft has always been money maps.
Yes.
Okay. When I go to the PC cafes in Korea, which I go quite a bit, you will always see someone playing a money map game in there. Always. More often than you see people playing, you know, on a like, you know, Fighting Spirit or something like that, you know, one of these standard maps. And so, and by the way, there are super advanced plays and very gifted players on those money maps. It is still StarCraft. It might not be what we're all used to. And I think we're going to get a lot of those people who might not normally watch ASL here watching now because they're curious. I mean, I think anybody who was into StarCraft, you know, whether they were growing up or they got into it late and, you know, they're learning about it now, they all have friends that don't really play on these kind of tournament maps, right? Yeah. They tend to play on the money maps. And I think fusing something like that and making that a little part of ASL, and also, by the way, in the ladder map pool, this is a map you can queue up and play on. It's not, you know, just bespoke to this tournament. I think it's a cool feature to add here to the ASL is what I'm saying.
Yeah. A couple things. First off, that bottom right thing, TVP win rate. Flash with 81%, second place Rush with 58.3%, third place Light with 58.2%. Just to show the differences. Flash is not even really a Terran player. He's doing something else altogether. But
it's crazy.
Yeah, the money maps, right? Fastest map is such a popular map. It is so heavily played. And in fact, the best... So Protoss is the best race on fastest map overall. And the best player in the world at fastest map is Brain, who's been in a few ASLs. He's actually an ASL level player, but he specializes in fastest. I'm actually sad he didn't play this season because he is one of the best Protoss players out there. It's just he mostly does fastest stuff. But yeah, the thought is that it's generally pretty good for Protoss. Their harassment there is going to be really good. It scales up their minerals really quickly for their Nexus and everything. But I feel like there's so many different strategies that can be utilized on this map that I don't know what the end balance is going to be after this season. You know, I feel like there's like a lot of play available, if that makes sense.
Right. We should also point out that it's not like you get all these extra gas geysers like you do on a lot of these other fastest maps. You know, the rest of the map is structured like a normal map. Wow, he's going to go for DTs. Yeah. Interesting. I guess the reality is the boosted minerals allows you to get another Nexus up fast, and at the same time, you know, proxy gateways right outside of their base.
And he's showing 2-gate, and he is showing range right now. So when you see something like that, you may do something like go fast siege tanks. The thing is, you never really want to go like siege tank missile turret. Because it just slows you down and allows Protoss to do anything they want. I don't know what Rush's actual plan will be. Like, who knows? Maybe he goes up there and finds it, right? Like, when you go for a Vulture expansion, generally the Vulture will scout a couple locations before going across the map. But you want to kind of have it in position to lay mines before mines are done, right? So you can see he is missing that. There's additional gates being added up at the top. So this is going to be like a very heavy DT all-in coming up here from Shuttle.
Yeah, it's basically designed to look like it's a, you know, a Protoss just expanding and probably going to take a third base. But the DTs come and hit very hard. Now, he's setting up for a drop. And, you know, the reality is once the DTs get in there, the Terran starts to bleed, and sometimes they cannot stop the bleeding. Yeah. You basically end up with 2 DTs immediately. You split them up. One always goes to the main. The other can, you know, you can go to the natural, but you can also try to like fight around the factories. And then by the time the 3rd and 4th DT get in there, I mean, it's very hard to ever get control here. I think the Terran only has 1 factory, right?
His second is almost done. One? Like he's making it, but it's not done yet. And he is going like pure Vulture so far because he is trying to get this drop off. And the drop might do some really significant damage. It's just the DTs have potential to actually end the game. So we'll see. I mean, there's 4 DTs on the map right now. And nothing to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, and one's going to just eat a mine shot. It's still going to get to its destination. So he's going to drop over here. And, you know, the problem right now for Protoss is they don't really have a lot to fight this, right? The Vultures can just click down. So many probes are going to get killed here. Oh my God, but the DTs are going to come in here. We see the first DT going up into the main. You generally, if you can, want to kill the Vulture that hasn't planted the mines. Yeah. Killing the tank is also a really good target because the tank is a lot of times what can actually fight the DT when you get vision. Oh my God, he's clicked on the command center.
Yeah, that is...
What is he doing?
I have no idea. That's really weird. Okay, so he finally does switch up what that DT's doing. He's not controlling these DTs well. He has 3 of them together now. Like, this is the opposite of how you want to play it. You want to keep your DTs spread. You want to be sniping down like anything that's trying to lay a mine, sniping down anything making a turret. Like the turrets need to be built near the minerals. So the fact that he has nothing up near the minerals is weird, but he's got so many DTs it might not matter.
He can probably just come in here and clobber the Terran. I mean, this is like, you know, DTs in StarCraft 1 are actually pretty good at fighting.
Yeah.
You know, now he can try to control the vultures, but there is a big minefield out here. The thing is, the Dragoons are up here now. Remember that the factories, they're going to have to lift, or he can't even make anything. He's almost gotten to where the minerals are, which is basically all you need to do. Remember that no more tanks can be made. I think Shuttle's actually won this game, Tastosis.
Yeah, I think he has. The DTs just look completely unstoppable at this point. One of the big problems is these 2 Dragoons as well. Even if you were to kill the DTs, you still have to kill the Dragoons. And look at that, a mine kills a ton. Dude, Shuttle's gonna win the group.
That's crazy, GG. What? Oh my God.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Shuttle with the fist pumps. Rush definitely looking unhappy there. But here's the thing, Rush. You did not block this move, right? Like, he was a little bit greedy with where he laid the mines. Flash always says when you're going 2 factories with mines, don't be greedy with where you lay them. Lay some in front of your base as well. And Rush didn't follow that. He was looking for maximum advantage, and Shuttle punished him with a ridiculous 4-gate DT rush. Like, it... I can't believe it, man. What a wild game.
Yeah, Rush super salty about that. I think he was expected to get out first here. Now he's likely going to play Bisu, and, you know, that could go either way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be a huge upset if Rush is knocked out. And, you know, the reality is, I think Shuttle, I would have put as like the 3rd most likely to advance. So the fact that he gets out first is crazy. You know, he's had an incredible run in the qualifiers for this. And, you know, I think a lot of players have kind of joked that, you know, he's not as good as the best of the best. But, you know, he's proven them wrong here today. We're going to go to an interview now and see how he's feeling. He is the very first player to advance here to the round of 16 in the ASL.
ASL 시즌22 24강 A조 경기 개막전 경기 함께 하고 계십니다. 개막전부터
You're watching Group A of the ASL Season 22 round of 24. We've already had some thrilling games right from the opening matches. Now let's meet the first player to advance to the round of 16, Shuttle. Congratulations. You really did not disappoint all the fans who came out here today. You gave us exactly the kind of games that get your adrenaline going. And now, for the first time since Season 17, you're finally back in the round of 16. On top of that, you got there by beating none other than Bisu and Rush. How does it feel? First of all, just look at the players I beat. It's not like I got lucky. I beat 2 players that anyone would recognize as really strong. Honestly, I can't believe it. I came here thinking, at least don't lose to whom. And somehow this happened. It honestly feels like a dream. And even in your game against Bisu, things didn't look very good for you early on. Bisu was clearly ahead, and he was leading in supply as well. Then there was a point where it almost looked like you were forcing a fight that might have been too much. But with the Shuttle Reaver, you ended up winning 2 huge fights. How did you make that decision? I saw his Nexus, and it was so fast. I thought, wow, I'm already behind Bisu from the start. There's no way I'm going to win if I just let this game play out normally. So when that shuttle timing came up, I decided I had to go for it. Even if he stopped me, I had to attack there.
지금 이 타이밍이 아니면 승산이 없다라는 판단으로 좀 무리한 전투를 시도하신 거군요.
So, you thought you had zero chance other than that exact timing? Yes, if I just leave him alone, he'll control the whole game. So I went all in on that timing. Then, in the winners match, you had Rush. Your head-to-head record against him hasn't been good, and your recent record against him was also against you. Even in the pre-game interview, though, you gave us the impression that you might have some kind of special PVT build prepared. Did you actually prepare something? I didn't actually practice it. My preparation was still a little uncertain, so it was something I'd only thought about in my head. I thought, if he goes for a fast expand opening on Odyssey, maybe I should try this. I'd only imagined doing it before. Then today I actually went for it, and it worked. Before the game, I also asked Minnie about it. I think if I had gone gate expand, it probably wouldn't have worked as well. But Minnie gave me some advice beforehand, and that helped me make the decision. So you recognized exactly what you were seeing and reacted immediately. You took down two of the biggest names in the group and secured your place in the round of 16 after a very long absence. And after you advanced, the other players were all telling you how impressive you looked. They weren't holding back the praise. For a while now, the other players have basically seen me as a comedian. Whenever I played StarCraft, I'd just lose. I basically became known as someone who doesn't win anymore. But back in the day, I was actually someone who could win. I felt like everyone had started underestimating me way too much. So today, I think I finally showed them something again. Now you're going back to the round of 16 group selection. This is what I think. There will be one person who's going to be very happy to see me there. With Soma holding a top seed, I can already imagine him using his first pick on me. Honestly, besides Rush, Soma is another player I just cannot beat. I'm really weak against those two, and somehow I keep getting matched against them. But isn't your PVZ really good? Soma is just a monster. So I guess I'm going to have to practice PVZ a lot. It's been a long time since you've been part of a round of 16 group selection. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens there. I'm sure your fans are looking forward to it too. Please say a few words to them. First of all, I used to have a lot of fans who supported me back in the day. But I kept getting eliminated, and over time, a lot of them left. So if any of my old fans are still out there watching, please come back. I'm also running a StarCraft University team, so I want to keep showing good results and make sure people remember us. And for now, I can still say that I'm the best StarCraft playing university head. If Calm makes it through, then maybe we'd be equals. But he hasn't made it yet. So for now, I'm keeping that title. And please keep supporting our university team. Congratulations again on advancing to the round of 16. We've been talking with Shuttle, the first player from Group A to advance today after an incredibly exciting performance. We'll take a short break and then come back for the losers match and final match.
Yeah, boys and girls wanna have some fun. I can't go to the party's done. I want more, girl, I want some love. I want love, give me that. Boys and girls wanna have some fun. I can't go to the party's done. I want more, girl, I want some love. I want love. See me in the spot, I'm hot. Don't care when I waste time. I don't wanna do too much. Don't air when I FaceTime. I just love when you're in it. When you're in it. When you're in it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I beg you don't come too close. I beg you just stay right there. I beg you just, yeah. Just love when you're in it. When you're in it. When you're in it. You give me this feeling, such a rush. I'm in love, yeah. You give me this feeling, such a rush. I'm in love. See me in the spot, I'm hot. Don't care when I waste time. I don't wanna do too much. Don't air when I FaceTime. I just love when you're in it. When you're in it. When you're in it. Let's get it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Boys and girls wanna have some fun. I can't go to the party's done. I want more, girl, I want some love. I want love, give me that. Just give me that.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
All right, we are back. Look at that. Casting our
Wow. Yeah, saying the exact same thing. Welcome, everybody. Crazy game back there. Shuttle advancing first out of Group A. Now we're going to go to the losers match here, Bisu versus HM.
Bisu getting rid of Odyssey, HM getting rid of Colorless Fate. So we're going to be playing on Attitude, the very normal map between these two. Look, if Bisu somehow gets eliminated here, that would be the most insane thing ever. But he might just get eliminated by Rush anyways. This whole group is already on its head. If I was HM, man, he should just either Ling all in or 3-hatch Hydra. Like, after seeing his performance against Rush, I don't think he should leave anything to his own skill set. I think he should do the easiest all in that might have a chance of beating Bisu. That's my opinion.
He is going to have the ghosts of that last game that he played haunting him in this match here against Bisu. I mean, he absolutely fumbled and basically died in one of the most, standard non-pro match ways ever. Killed by a bunker rush. There wasn't an SCV pull. That it was not something that I was even really engineered to end the game. It was supposed to be something where you kill drones, but he fell apart. So hopefully he can pull it together here in game, his second game, I should say, of the day here, because this is the elimination match.
Yeah. So, as far as Bisu, right, you're playing best of one here against a player that you're not just way better than, you have infinity more experience than. I want to guess that he's going to go for a gateway expand. Just because, like, I feel like if you just give Bisu a few zealots to run around, after seeing what HM did in game one, I feel like Bisu might just be able to get super far ahead with those initial couple zealots. What do you think?
I think that's a good bet, Artosis. I think a gateway expand is in order. A forge expand is acceptable. It's going to be a forge expand because he's scouting with the probe. I guess this is also a map where you can cannon rush behind the minerals. Not that that's why you forge expand, but it does make a forge expand that much stronger, right? Because if you see an opportunity, you can just pull the trigger and try to kill him. But yeah, I was in the same mode of thought that you were, Artosis. I think that Bisu is like the best gateway expand player there is. He really knows how to decide where to put the zealots, when to hide them, when to go back. And this is going to be overpool, which is a very safe way to play. We'll need to see how many lings are made here, because there are all-ins you can do with overpool, or there's just kind of very, very normal macro plays that can come from this as well. He is gonna, I think, with the amount of money he banked, he might try to go for Nexus first. He has stopped on 12. Let's see, is it going to be a later forge? It is going to be a later forge. Okay, I thought, gosh, Nexus first seems crazy, but it really doesn't matter if you have the forge later. If you can just get the cannon up in time, right?
Yeah, as long as you have your cannon warping in at the right moment. And, Bisu has his stuff mapped out so ridiculously well. By the way, just a little side note, they had the ASL win rates at the bottom right there at the beginning. Bisu's only third in PVZ. Actually, Snow is above him. I knew Mini was number one because Mini had like that insane season where he beat every single Zerg player. But interesting to see that Snow actually has a slightly higher win rate in this matchup than Bisu. I did not expect that.
Yeah, very impressive. Well, I think it's, you know, in part because for a while Bisu was like the greatest PvZ player of all time and kind of fixed the matchup for the entire race. You know, with his ability to use Corsairs, Zealots using DTs. He really just kind of changed the way that we look at Protoss and also proved that you can safely fast expand over and over and over again. In fact, that's really the only way to play PvZ is to do some form of a fast expand.
Very, very true.
Where, you know, if you go back to like, you know, 2001, I mean, PvZ was weird and frankly pretty bad for the Protoss. I mean, all the Zerg had to do was basically defend early on. And, you know, Protoss just basically aren't functional if they don't have a second gas in this matchup. Most of the matchup, if you know you're just developing, is the Protoss getting almost every upgrade you could imagine. They're just basically sitting there getting this upgrade and that upgrade and attacking, and they're not really viable against Zerg until they have all these upgrades for all their units. So in this game, it's probably going to be a quiet one. You know, the fast expand is up. HM has gone for a Ling block here at the ramp. It is going to be layer tech, so it's not him hiding a Hydra bust, but you know, Bisu will be thinking about that here. That's one of the first things you have to watch out for in the matchup. And Bisu, unless we have some surprises, is probably going to get a Stargate and go for a Corsair. There are builds where you can skip it and go for a Citadel, but Bisu is, you know, probably more known for Corsairs. He, like, if there was a unit that he represented, I think it would be the Corsair.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like Snow, it would be the Reaver, right? And with that Corsair, you know, tech, he'll be scouting and trying to figure out what kind of PvZ he wants to play.
I think Bisu to this day still has the best Corsair retention in the world. Like other players will like lose Corsairs here and there, and like eventually they all die, and then sometimes that'll cost them. But I feel like Bisu just keeps his alive so long that it can even inhibit him in the later game, right? Like if you're maxing out against Zerg, it's like, do we still want to have 10 Corsairs right here? But he really is fantastic with those. So happy to see him going towards that more normal play. And HM actually lets the probe in. That was, dude, that's kind of lazy and sloppy. Like, I don't know how he allowed that to occur. But now Bisu gets that full scout and knows, in fact, that it's Spire. Like, I guess he didn't technically see the Spire, but you know that there's a Spire behind there.
Right. I mean, unless there's like, you know, the weirdest, you know, lurker tech or something weird coming out. So that's a pretty good scout. He gets to confirm. We're going to have that Citadel start up here. And, you know, this is going to be a very ordinary looking PvZ. You know, we do have the Hydroden thrown down afterwards and the second gas. And, you know, that Corsair is going to come out here and either try to clear Overlords, which there aren't really any that you can get that are close. There's one in this, I guess two actually in the center. But, you know, the Corsair wants to come up here and basically get a peek. You know, I guess since he did not see the layer, he wants to just, or sorry, the Spire. He just wants to see, okay, he's going to spot that. There is enough time if you find an Overlord quickly to kill it before the Scourge come out. When the Corsair gets there, I don't know if he's going to get one in this game. He is going to find this one over here. Now, this is going to be a little bit close. He's got to make sure he kills this and gets out immediately.
I think he barely gets that one, and I think he'll get this one as well. But, okay, well, good finds by him, because I was actually about to say, I'm glad that you spoke a little bit longer that time, because I was going to be like, damn, his Overlords are in great positions here. Because Bisu just wasn't finding one for a long time. But one Scourge actually hit that Corsair, so that is a little bit of an issue. Like, you got to be careful about that. If you end up losing any Corsairs, sometimes that triggers Zerg to go into Mutalisks.
Yeah. I mean, if you start to drop Corsairs, that's a problem. I've come to the conclusion when I play this matchup, like, you just literally can't lose your first 5 Corsairs. Like, you just don't do it. It messes up your build so much to have to make an extra Corsair if you're in a game where you do have to get the Corsairs out and fight with them. But he has immediately, HM has immediately gone into Hydra Tech. So he had the initial Scourge. You know, sometimes you'll see one of those Scourge come in there and scout, like this one that we're seeing here now. But he's going to go into Hydras pretty fast. Now, Bisu should be able to have 4 cannons up at his expansion here. We see a third one being made. But usually 4 is the number where you're probably going to be okay versus anything. Sometimes you have to get more depending on the positioning and how committed the Zerg is to the Hydras. So the Corsairs are going to see this and allow him to respond.
So I think what we're seeing from HM is one of these pre-storm bust timings. Like those are sometimes popular, where your opponent opens Corsair and you're like, okay, I'm going to hit them just before Psy Storm is done. But the thing is, you sacrifice a lot. Like, you don't get as many drones. You don't oftentimes have like your 6 hatchery ready. You know, because everything seems to be like 3 bases, 6 hatch these days. And he's only going up to 5 right now. So HM is really putting a lot of eggs in this basket, but I don't think it's going to work. Like, Bisu got the scouting done. He's added a ton of cannons here. He's playing it very safe. And I can't imagine HM breaking him.
I don't think he's going to get broken. You know, it's so impressive to me. Bisu's Corsairs are always moving. Always. You know, and they're always looking for targets. You got to remember, excuse me, you got to remember that, oh my God, he beat me to it. I was going to say, you know, a DT could come out here. It looks like an Overlord's going to hatch just in the nick of time. So he's only going to get, it looks like maybe 1 or 2 drones. Yeah, killed off over there. But, you know, the Zerg doesn't have a really strong economy.
No.
You know, those cannons, that's too much. You're not going to be able to break that down. And from here, you know, the game goes on. I think that the Protoss is going to continue to tech up. The probe count is certainly going to be looking better than the drone count is over here for the Zerg. But this is looking like, you know, this push from Bisu that's going to be pretty strong once we finally get there.
You know, I think it's not a terrible idea what HM did, but it's put him into this position where you better be pretty damn good to come back. That, you know, by now, normally, like a normal macro opened up layer game will have 6 hatcheries already. Like, his 5th just finished. You know, he's like, HM doesn't have anything going on for himself. He doesn't have a particularly high drone count. He made all those Hydras that did nothing other than force, you know, a few extra cannons from Bisu. And Bisu's getting full intel this whole time. He's moving around really smoothly. His probe count is awesome. It looks like a very good game for Bisu right now.
Yeah, he did not spot that drone that's running by here, but this is, you know, this is what Bisu's so known for, is he basically gets in here with the Corsairs and Zealots, and then the Overlords fall. And that's where it gets really messy for the Zerg. The Zerg is really like the only race that kind of has this unique nightmare of a situation where they start to both lose units and supply at the same, or, you know, the things that give them supply at the same time. And occasionally you'll see the game completely like nosedive into like, you can't get out of this. The damage just piles up. But
well, Tastosis, I have to inform you actually, against Reaver drops, we have the same problem as Terran, where I'm losing units and supply depots at the same time. But yeah, it's a pain. And Bisu is so good at that Corsair movement. Like, he uses those Zealots and they fight some of the Hydras, and he's picking off Overlords at the same time, and then he just runs away with the Corsairs. And it's like, okay, so you lost a bunch of units and your supply capped, and Bisu has all of his long-term units still left alive.
Yeah, it's brutal. So the armor upgrade's done. Most likely Bisu will get the 2nd armor upgrade and rely on Psystorm. The Lurkers are out. Since the Zerg couldn't get the drone to start the hatchery at the top right, I think the 4th base, oh, he actually starts it right now. The 4th base is going to be, you know, over at this triangle expansion here that he can take. He is going to send a shuttle into the main. You know, this is just a smart move. It's such a short path to get over here. I think Zergs basically always have to be ready to preempt this. Anytime your main is pointed towards the Protoss, they're going to try to do this. It's just too strong. And the thing is, there's almost never an Overlord in the main because you're trying to squish them all together. So we got to see how quickly HM can react to this.
Yeah, this is going to be painful. It seems like, okay, he did notice. So only 3 drones dying so far, but still very good damage there from Bisu. HM is going to be able to go up here and re-secure his main base, but he's going to have to be very careful to not let that happen again.
Yeah, and we're going to see the 3rd base start here for the Protoss. You know, he's got those Zealots up at the top right, so, you know, the Zerg is feeling really constricted right now. The push is eventually going to be coming out here. He's got the Dragoons with the group. You ideally want to hit as the armor upgrade finishes, but sometimes you see them start to lay down some storms a little bit earlier and try to soften the Zerg up. And if this 4th base falls, the game basically ends. I said there was going to be a Nexus. I guess one hasn't actually started yet. So Bisu might just be trying to push in with this. Now, the smart move generally is to try to snipe the observers if you can, and he does get one.
Yeah, there's another one left alive, though, and these lurkers are already softened up pretty badly. Some great storms coming in. Look at these Corsairs going to clear a bunch of the overlords that are coming up. Bisu just with some great control, great execution on this push, and HM definitely in some trouble here.
Yeah, he's going to wait for this next observer to come up here, and I think if this observer can stay alive, the Zerg is going to fall apart positional here. I don't think that he's going to have that much that he can really work with right now. Another storm goes down, hitting those Hydras. The Lings are going to come in here from below. A decent storm, but the Lings are going to get some decent surface area. He needs to try to reinforce this. I think there is just enough that Bisu wins this fight and basically takes the game here. He's going to drop that DT in the main. Okay, he's got it. He's going to close this game out.
Bisu's just doing everything at once. He's taking a third during all of this as well, forcing the drones away. GG is called. A better game from HM, but, you know, not the game that he would need here to have any chance to win. It's tough on your first ASL. He's been trying for so long. I'm really happy for him that he made it in, but it's a tough group. It's a tough tournament. Hopefully he can get in again in the future, but Bisu going to go on to that final match of the night.
I would say a basically perfect game from Bisu.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything he could have done better. That was like 100 out of 100. You know, he really looked so strong the entire time. You know, I think it was worth trying the Hydra bust before Storm, but, you know, Bisu, he sniffed that out pretty fast. He got the cannons there. And basically just played a clean game. You know, Protoss says if they do win PVZs, ideally they win with a push in the mid game. That's always how you want to close it out. So nicely done. And that's going to lead us to the final match of the night, guys. Bisu versus Rush coming up next.
It's like the closest thing to breathing underwater. I just want to feel it deep within. Lost in it with you and there's no other. The whole world up, I'm fighting to go further. It's time to get so turned up. I'm feeling like I could do anything. I'm ready and so focused. I'm making the whole glow tip. There's never a dull moment. You know I be bodying everything. The realest is in the vicinity. To give them a different energy. I'm drilling it into your memory. Never forget I'm the winning epitome. Knockout from round one. Going stupid, style dumb. Send them in by the thousands. When the countdown's up, y'all done. Don't stop, no limit. No, it don't stop. Let them know that the GOAT did it. The GOAT, you know I'm the GOAT. And it don't stop, no limit. No, it don't stop. Let them know that the GOAT did it. It's the GOAT, you know I'm the GOAT. I'm about to go psycho, crazy. I'm dripping with so much swag. I'm up and I won't cut back. Cause I got what no one has. A body and spirit unbreakable. Popping like microwaves. I'm about to go psycho crazy. When I hit the final phase, my aura will be uncontainable. Today you will face an anomaly. A one-on-one, that's a prodigy. Getting gold is the policy. No apologies, just a lot of heat. So fly, need a bag check. Get a fight to my last breath. Gave my tears, blood, and sweat for this chance. Yes, I'm the granddad. And it don't stop, no limit. No, it don't stop. Let them know that the GOAT did it. Don't stop, no limit. No, it don't On a real high grade list, that's A-list, never basic. It's a fact, I'm the greatest. Took the path up to greatness. On a real high grade list, that's A-list, never basic. And it don't stop, no limit. Let them know that the GOAT did it. And it don't stop, no limit. Let them know that the GOAT did it. And it don't stop, no limit. Let them know that the GOAT did it. And it don't stop, no limit. Let them know that the GOAT did it.
Truth sweeps, nobody weeps. Time waits to heal reality. Look away, double take. Players in the same game. Believe your eyes. The serpents rise tonight. Their words disguise nothing but seductive lies.
There it is, the Google Play Point. These points get you more than a high score. Play, earn, and redeem them for exclusive rewards that supercharge your gameplay. Or score the latest must-have gear and up your game with sweet accessories. You're already winning. Now go get the rewards with Google Play Points. Redeem now and go reward yourself.
스타의 역사를 이어나가는 자부심. 저그 프로토스 테란 가장 많은 14명. 타티어가요 가장 많이 올라갔어요.
그 정설을 깨버렸습니다. 노력을 통해서.
15년 만에 다시 한번 대결을 펼치게 됩니다. 찍어 누르는 그 힘을 보여주는 합니까? 진짜 세계 첫 대급 경기. 말도 안 되는 승부. 명장면이 계속. 대마의 결승전.
If that's what you want, then it's our story.
What a day of games we've had here. This has been interesting, man. I'm very curious what's going to happen here with Bisu and Rush.
Man,
We've had
yeah. anything could happen.
No, go ahead, please.
No, it's just this match it's a crazy match. I actually think Rush is slightly better at this matchup than Bisu, although Bisu is very good PvT. So I don't know what to even do here, Tasteless, because these are, I said at the beginning, these are two of my favorites for the tournament. They're both in ridiculously good shape right now, but one of them has to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that one of them is going to be knocked out here. You know, Shuttle with the upset, he did pass through and move on into the round of 24. Rush and Bisu are both so incredibly strong, but this is the nature of that round of 24. It's going to be a best of one. It will be played on Octagon here. And the winner, you know, they go to that next level. They're in the round of 16. The loser is out. And we won't be seeing them until next year.
That's crazy. That is crazy that one of these guys has to go right now. I really think that they're two of the favorites of the tournament, man. I can't believe it. Who do you think, Tastosis? Who do you think takes this on Octagon?
You know, honestly, I think it's Rush.
I do too.
I'm rooting for Bisu.
Yeah.
But Rush is so good. And I think Bisu does seem to struggle a little bit in PvT sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, let's get into it, guys. Game 5, the final game of Group A, starting now. Okay, cross spawns here with Rush in the top left and Bisu in the bottom right. One more quick call to action here, guys, in this ASL. Consider supporting us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/ASL English. We would not be able to do this without your guys' support. So if you're in a position to support us, we would love to accept it.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who has been supporting over the years. ASL continues to go strong, so a big thanks to everyone. And yeah, check it out. ASL English on Patreon. Yeah, Bisu now with 100 wins in ASL. Pretty sick. And yeah, his Protoss vs. Terran is actually higher ranked than his Protoss vs. Zerg. What a funny world we live in. But yeah, him, Mini, and Snow, the top 3 in both of those.
Is this your Tastosis?
Yeah.
The chess piece in 2099?
Yeah. Love it. Guy in the audience, thank you. Couple quick notes here. Octagon has been changed from the previous season. The two big changes are the center of the map is only buildable in the exact center. There's enough room for 2 proxy gates or 2 proxy barracks there, but it's not buildable anywhere else in the center of the map, whereas the one last season was, so you could see silly things like mass turrets in the center for pushes. That's no longer a thing. And the third base, that mineral-only base, has 1 more patch. So that's actually quite a nice change.
Yeah.
That makes it a much more valuable base. Before taking it felt weird. Now it functions more like a regular third base. And that can be good for both Protoss and
such a
Terran.
crappy base.
Yeah, it was.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So this is the build that Bisu seems to do more than any other build PvT. He likes the forward gateway pressure build. This is what I would call like a control play. The Terran has to behave in a very specific way or they take massive damage. And I think the reason why Bisu plays this, or at least why he likes this, is it simplifies the game a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Nexus first, there's a lot of weird stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
That's hard to plan for. If you go for the Dragoon expand, there's also so many things the Terran can do in between now and then. But the Gateway expand basically allows you to try to get in the Terran's face. You make a few Zealots. I think there's different variations for how many you want to get. I don't know this build that well, but you kind of get in the Terran's face, force them to make Marines firstly, and then you can throw your Nexus down. And as long as you're able to you know, deal with any counterattack, you should be okay.
Yeah, and if your opponent went for like a gasless expansion or they went for a command center first, then this build can be really, really strong against those. Having that first Zealot out pretty quickly. And in fact, Bisu with some really good micro, he's going to get in front of that Marine and block it. This is really ridiculous.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
That was ridiculous.
So he's right-clicking the probe through the patch and then using it to body block.
Yeah.
Now, this does force a Vulture out. That's another nice feature about the build, is that you end up with this unit out. I'm sorry, you deny them the ability to get a tank right away. You do need to know to get out when you see that vulture coming. If they don't have the vulture, like let's say he did get the machine shop, then you would try to press and go for more damage. And so the SCV is going to try to come slip through here. Bisu with a really fortunate spot there. He kind of sees that as it was running away and misses a shot. So he's going to try to chase this down. Now you got to be careful because the vulture's out on the map. And if that vulture gets inside your base, you're going to lose a lot of probes.
I have to say this has been perfectly executed by Bisu so far. Now, it's not that that gets you like super far ahead of Terran or something, but I would say that he's a little bit ahead of Rush right now. Again, like perfect execution. He saves his zealots. His probe is still alive. He stopped the scout. He got a really quick nexus off of this as well, which I think is the best thing you can do with this, is you force Terran, when you make this type of zealot build, to go for a third depot, which slows their command center quite a bit. And so if you just instantly go Nexus once you know that you've forced that reaction, I think that's the best outcome against a factory expansion build like what Rush has done. So I really like where Bisu's gotten himself in this game, but it looks like Rush wants to try to put on a little bit of counter pressure.
Yeah, it looks like the probe is going to spot the 3 Marines and Vulture moving out on the map right now. So there's no way this probe is going to be able to get away. The Vulture can always chase that down. It's just a little bit faster. He will be able to, if he does click on the Vulture, see that there's Marines there. Or sorry, see that there's mines there, excuse me. Oh, wait, you can click on a Vulture and see that there's mines on them, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, wait.
Yeah, right, okay,
yeah. I checked in TVT.
Yeah, you can, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not crazy,
okay.
Right? Like, that's true, yeah.
I really put us on the spot there, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tastosis.
Well, I'm like, the thing is, I know that I do it in TVT, is I click on a Vulture. And in fact, every now and then I'll click on one that happened to lay 3 mines. Like, he doesn't have mines, then I walk into mines. But yeah, he's throwing the mines out on the map, and you can see he's actually playing the mines you're technically supposed to with this opener. See how there's some in the path? It's not just blocking bases, but there's some in the path to his base. That's going to protect you against things like what Mini did. But yeah, this is like a really, really standard openers so far. This is just like any game on the ladder, right? Like I feel like I've played so far what we've seen this exact game multiple times. And I imagine you have as well, where it's like, yeah, okay, it's the mines opener, pressure with the Zealot, went into the expansion. Here's Terran going like 2 factory. Are they going to attack? Are they going to get anything done? That type of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a Nexus, probably into 2 more gateways here. Now, Terran might try to push. I mean, with a 3rd factory, you're definitely winding up for an attack here. It's funny. It's a little bit counterintuitive. Sometimes in cross spawns, okay, he actually went around the observer. Oh, my God.
Okay, but he saw the SCV go down there. He caught that SCV, and I saw his screen flick over, so he looked at what was underneath the observer. So he knows this is coming. He's getting into position.
Okay, he's going to move out. Now, it's really hard to push up these the staircase over here. The high ground advantage is massive. You just have to basically get ready to block. He immediately wipes out that 1 Vulture. Terran might want to turn around.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to be able to make this work.
He has speed, so there might be a world in which he can poke here and run by the Dragoons. Was that a 3rd factory? I just barely didn't catch that. I thought he was building
at the top in the main.
Yeah. I think it was.
He got that 3rd factory early. So that's what this
so it's
whole
not
thing is a rush.
Yeah, it's not that standard then. That's actually kind of crazy. Like, Rush is really going for a push here. Laying a ton of mines here. So far, the micro from Bisu is good, but he's lost a few Dragoons. That is a little bit of an issue. Probes get pulled up. I think that's a smart call. But 4 tanks here. Those goons cannot fight 4 tanks.
Yeah, he needs to get a little bit more. He doesn't have anything special like a Reaver to lean on. There's obviously no DT tech coming here, so you basically have to win this with force, and that's going to be tough. I mean, these Vultures are going to be reinforcing really fast. 4 tanks is a lot. He does finish siege mode, so he's going to start to shell the Nexus. I stand corrected. I'm sorry, guys. He is actually getting Reaver tech. We just saw it down there, but it's not going to be out in time.
Well, you have to give up the Nexus. What you need to do is prevent yourself from taking any more damage. Now, unfortunately, Bisu sent a probe down to make this Nexus, but there are mines there, which slow him down. And yeah, the vultures just run right in and snipe that off. So that's going to be really annoying. Bisu walks into a mine up here while trying to push everything back and is losing mining time as well. Ugh, really feels like Rush is outdoing him right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is bad, man. You know, he can't get resources from his natural. The probe count was lowered anyways because he had to use some probes to try to defend that. I think it was the right move, but you know, it's not going to help in the long term, not having workers. He's got the Shuttle and Reaver here. I don't know if Shuttle speed's being upgraded, but I also don't really think he's going to be able to get a whole lot done. You know, he could try to snipe a few vultures or tanks or something, but losing the Nexus like that is quite painful.
Yeah, like there's just no way that Rush isn't ahead right now. When you get Protoss to be on 2 base at the same time as you this late into the game, it's fantastic. The one thing we can say is that it's not like there's a lot of factories. You know, this was a 3-factory rush, so a lot of his money just kind of went into keeping that going. So he's a little bit slow as far as adding additional factories for production. But Bisu not having a 3rd base right now is really kind of the big thing that's happened in this game. Protoss not mining from a 3rd base at almost 10 minutes is brutal.
Yeah, you really got to get that 3rd base up. The Protoss really do operate as if they were Zerg in this matchup. It's kind of a crazy, remarkable way that this matchup works. You know, Protoss has to push and be like Terran when they are fighting Zerg, but then when they fight against Terrans, they suddenly become this race that has to like mass expand and get a ton of units and do a lot of counterattacks and stuff like that. But tripping them up early, just like if you were to trip up a Zerg in like a TVZ early on, it makes the rest of the game so much more painful to try to get to where you want to be here. So that Nexus is going to finish. You can see the vultures. It looks like this is just a little bit off as far as the timing goes. He probably wanted to get there as the probes are being transferred. He does go for 2 shuttles, so he might go for a play where he tries to suicide those into the main and then run up and hit the 3rd base. If a 3rd base, in fact, is landed over there.
Yeah, Bisu does this a lot right now, and it's been trendy for a while, but this is how he screwed up against Flash when they played in the last season. And this is really good defense. There's 4 turrets in that general side of the main base, plus a tank pre-sieged, plus a couple mines in there. I'm nervous that Bisu's going to throw these shuttles away and just not get enough damage for them.
I am too. You know, the problem is that if you're ready for this, it really does. It just puts you further behind. And the thing is, he's got mines in here. There's turrets deep inside the base, which means the shuttles aren't safe. And you know, the Reavers are not good if they don't have a shuttle. That's when you can really abuse stuff. You can see these are just slow Reavers. I guess they can target, like, you know, the vultures that come forward, hit the depots, stuff like that. But like, this is not worth, you know, what he spent sending these in here. I do think that the double shuttle play is good if they didn't get turrets, which happens in a lot of games where they try to do like a 3-factory push, right? Is they just don't really have a whole lot of stuff, and then you can kind of punish them for never having defended earlier. You can hit them later on, but this just seems like one of these games where Bisu's just further and further behind. We saw some probes get killed there. Rush basically hasn't been bruised this whole game.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to note is Rush had the turret behind his command center. I've actually been saying this for a few months now, that is the main counter to these double shuttle run-bys. Because what happens is they sack the shuttle that has the zealots in it. It takes most of the damage. And then they have the Reavers that can be played with behind the minerals. But Rush had a turret there, and it just shut that drop down so hard. And now Rush has more supply than Bisu pushing across the map. How are you supposed to hold this with goons? Yeah, there's no way. He doesn't have zealot legs. He has a paltry amount of dragoons. He has like 1 shuttle. Even if he had 4 High Templars in there, Rush would kill him with this push.
I think even Snow, the Reaver, can't stop this.
No.
This is so much from Terran. It's all led up to, you know, the back and forth that happened in this, you know, between these two. And this has honestly been a pretty perfect game played here by Rush.
Yeah,
I mean, he just... Okay, he's got Templars. I don't know if Storm is done. I don't know if Storm can save the day, but I think he's got something like 5 or 6 Templars down here. So let's see what he can do. The problem is that Templars are not good against tanks that are sieged up, right? You're much better using Storm when Terran is in transit, not when they're in an entrenched position like the one we're looking at now.
This is pretty terrible. Some more High Templars are coming out. He has Zealot legs. It's just way too much mech, and the spread is good, and Rush isn't moving too fast. That's the main thing. If you don't move in too quick, you spread your tanks reasonably, the Storms will never gain the value that you need here. This army of Bisus is just too small to deal with this.
I do wonder if it would have been better for him to go for the Reaver Tech before the 3rd Nexus. Bisu might have been a little bit too greedy because they're in cross spawns, but usually if you get the Reaver Tech before that, then you can kind of handle these like 3 factory pushes. He's going to come in here. Honestly, you could not ask for better Storms.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be enough. There's just too many tanks over here. And yeah, I mean, Protoss, I see what, 1 Templar here. There's a DT. You know, that's not going to cut it. And that's just going to get eaten alive by mines. Bisu is on 4 bases. He does have a base at 6 o'clock.
Oh, he loses.
I don't even know that the probes can get out here.
Dude, everything's bad here for Bisu, unfortunately. I'm sad. I'm sad because I absolutely forgive losing the 3rd base. Like, that 3 factory push from Rush was awesome, and Bisu was trying to just get a 3rd up quick. I totally understand. But the 2 shuttles flying in, he didn't have good intel. I think you're right. He looked at it and said, oh, it's a 3 factory. They oftentimes skimp on turrets. But Rush simply did not. And that's how Bisu has thrown so many games lately, is just rushing in with his shuttles, losing everything, and then a counter push comes and he doesn't have enough to hold it.
Yeah, he's a little deterministic in how he's approaching the game sometimes. You know, like it seems almost like the push worked and then Rush knew that Bisu would do that and just had the turrets in the right spot and dealt with it. And then he's like, okay, he you know, walked right into that one, on to the next move. GG. Bisu is out of this season of ASL, and Rush moves on.
That's rough, man. That's really rough. You know what? Shuttle is one of the big reasons if Protoss doesn't win this season. He's already eliminated so many Protosses through the qualifiers, and now with Bisu. Kind of crazy. But Shuttle advances in 1st place, Rush in 2nd place, and Bisu is out of the tournament so early. Just a couple seasons ago, he was in top 4 and looked like he might win the whole thing. And now he's gone.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. You know, I was super excited to see Bisu playing here today. I was really confident he would probably, you know, win no problem here. But I guess we got to go back to that PvP, right? You know, you can't lose to that push by Shuttle. He had that game in the bag. He had the lead. But, you know, when the push came in there, it did damage. And the reality is I do think Rush is a better player than Bisu. A little bit better. Not a lot better, a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's all it takes in a best of 1, you know?
Absolutely. All right, interview here with Rush.
We've now seen all of the opening matches from Group A of the ASL Season 22 round of 24. And after winning the final match, the 2nd player from today's group to advance to the round of 16 is Rush. Congratulations. After winning the final match, you're back in the round of 16 lineup. There were definitely some moments today that must have had you holding your breath. But in the end, all of that practice didn't let you down. Rush, how does it feel to be back in the round of 16? It's been a long time since I've really felt just how difficult it is to make the round of 16. It reminded me again that I really need to keep working hard. I can almost feel you clenching your teeth just thinking about it. In the winners match, Shuttle caught you with that hidden Dark Templar and dealt you a pretty painful loss. What was going through your mind after that game? Honestly, it was a really obvious build. Even when you're teaching beginners, one of the first things you tell them is, if there's nothing in the opponent's main, you need to scout and figure out where everything is. But I was way too focused on what I wanted to do. I think I played that game pretty stupidly. So, afterward, I was really blaming myself for it. Then you had another Protoss match in the final, this time against Bisu. You used your tanks to pressure his expansion. And when his Shuttle Reaver came in for harassment, you defended it almost perfectly. We really saw that meticulous style that Rush is known for, along with some very sharp push timings. Were you able to put the previous loss behind you pretty quickly? Yeah. I tried as hard as I could to completely forget about that game. Going into the final, I was thinking that I should play a little more boldly, and then the situations where I actually could make those aggressive moves came up. So I went for them, and everything worked out really well. You've already proven that you're a Terran with enough ability to reach an ASL final. And you're still one of the Terrans that a lot of fans have high expectations for. You're also clearly a player with enough skill to overcome the disappointment of going out early last season. It feels like your mindset is different this season as well. How are you approaching it? I've actually set my goals pretty high this season. That ice rink looks like such a cool stage, and I really want to play there. So I've increased the number of games I'm playing by a lot, and I've been practicing really hard. I want to prepare even better for the round of 16. And if I can get through that and make the round of 8, I think I can do even better from there. And finally, please say a few words to all the fans who are looking forward to seeing what Rush can show us this season. First of all, I've been really focused on Melee lately. And as much as I've been putting into the game, the fans have been giving me an incredible amount of support and helping me out a lot. I'm always really thankful for that. There are also a lot of people who've been helping me practice. I want to thank Motive, Tulbo, Best, Sue, Hero, and BTS. Thank you so much for helping me practice. And finally, to my wife and kids who are cheering for me at home, I want to tell them that I love them. Rush, congratulations once again on advancing to the round of 16. We're looking forward to seeing what you can do this season. Congratulations! We've been talking with Rush, the second player from Group A to advance to the round of 16. Now, let's take another look at the results from today's matches.
Well, that does it for Group A, guys. Rush and Shuttle are moving on.
Kind of a wild start to the tournament. I do feel a little bit sad because Bisu is such a goat, and it's just like to see him fall that quickly. Ouch. But you know what?
It's painful.
Yeah. I wonder, because Shuttle is so underestimated by everyone. I think because he's a funny guy and he's fun to kind of make fun of because he's not like championship tier. But the guy is legitimately really, really, really good. I wonder if he can make a splash and maybe even a top 8 this season.
I mean, let's see what he can do. You know, you got to take it one game at a time, one opponent at a time. He is a great player. But, you know, it's I agree with you, Tastosis. It's hard to imagine him winning. I mean, getting top 8 would be huge. Mm-hmm. We had some unusual brackets in the last 2 ASLs for, you know, some kind of I want to say royal rotor would not be the right word, but you know, so we saw Tulbo go deep in this ASL. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, if he can do it, I don't see why Shuttle couldn't. And these are our matchups for next week
or tomorrow, actually. Sharp, tomorrow, shiny, shine, action. Gosh, I hope we can cast shiny versus shine. That'll be a lot of fun. It's fun to have shiny back. He was banned from ASL for a while. You know, he had some questionable actions of qualifying and lying about it and stuff like that. But he is a really strong ladder Terran. He's very oftentimes #1 on the ladder. So I'm interested to see what he can do in this group of real veterans.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough group for him for sure. We already saw HM fall. You know, I think we definitely got one of maybe our worst ASL game out of the way on day 1.
Yeah.
With our starting game. We're always going to have a couple of stinkers. And
yeah.
I'm glad we are past that, and that's behind us now. But again, guys, I'm just so happy to be back casting ASL. This is going to be a super fun season.
It is indeed. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna keep looking at these awesome Harry Potter
look
hoodies,
at these
man.
Sweatshirts.
I can't believe that the Korean commentators are wearing those over suits. It's so funny to me. And
they must be really hot too.
Yeah, like a suit is hot enough, and then you have to put a big Harry Potter hoodie over it, man. It's got like that crest, and it looks like a cloak, you know, where you put the. You do rituals in the woods.
You've got your boyfriend's clothes on, and it's bigger, and it smells nice.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you, man, they must be hot. We've been in that studio. Those lights are hot. Mm-hmm. Those suits are hot. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, that was it for day 1. We will be back tomorrow with Group B here.
Yeah, I think that does it. Thank you again, guys, for checking out the Patreon at patreon.com/ASL English. And we will see you next time.